You go to bed at a normal time, the room is dark, the door is closed, the window is shut, because it is cold outside, or noisy outside, or hot enough that the air conditioner has to stay on. Maybe a fan is running. Maybe the room feels comfortable. Nothing seems wrong. And then morning comes, your alarm goes off, and somehow your body feels like it did not finish sleeping. Your head feels heavy. Your eyes feel dry. Your thoughts move slowly. You were in bed for 7 or 8 hours, but you wake up as if something in the room quietly worked against you all night. Most people blame themselves. They think they stayed up too late. They think they used their phone too long. They think they just need more discipline. But here is the part. Most people never check. The problem may not be your sleep schedule. It may be the air, not outside air, bedroom air. The small pocket of air around your bed, trapped behind a closed door and a closed window, used over and over again for hours, while your body is trying to recover. And to understand why that matters, you first need to understand what happens to a bedroom after one sleeping. Person disappears into it for an entire night. A bedroom looks still when you turn the lights off, but it is not still. Your body is moving air through it every few seconds. You breathe in, you breathe out, you breathe in again, and every breath changes the room by a tiny amount. You take in oxygen, you release carbon dioxide, you release water vapor, you release heat, you release tiny chemicals from your breath and your skin. One breath does almost nothing. A whole night is different. A whole night turns the room into a slow experiment. The first thing people usually think about is oxygen. They imagine the room running out of it like a sealed box in a movie. That is not really the problem, not at normal bedroom levels. The oxygen in the room is usually not dropping low, enough to explain why you feel awful in the morning. The more useful clue is carbon dioxide, CO2, not because it is always the main villain by itself, but because it is a fingerprint. It tells you how much of the room's air has already been through a human body. Fresh outdoor air usually has much less CO2 than a closed bedroom at the end of the night. And in one field study from the Technical University of Denmark, the difference was not subtle. When a bedroom window was open, the average CO2 level was about 660 parts per million. When the window was closed, the average was about 2,585 parts per million. That is almost 4 times higher. Same kind of room, same kind of sleep, different air. And when the CO2 level was lower, people reported fresher air, less sleepiness, the next day, better ability to concentrate, and better performance on a logical thinking test. That is the first crack in the ordinary picture of sleep, because it means the bed was not the only sleep environment. The air was part of the sleep environment too. And if the air changed, the next morning changed with it. Now, here is where the story gets stranger. For a long time, many people treated 1,000 parts per million of CO2 as a kind of acceptable indoor line. Not perfect, but not alarming either. Then researchers tested bedroom ventilation more directly. In a later field lab study, healthy young adults slept under 3 different ventilation conditions. One condition led to about 750 parts per million CO2, another led to about 1,000, another led to about 1,300. The jump from 750 to 1,000 does not sound dramatic, but sleep changed. At 1,000 parts per million, sleep efficiency went down by 1.3%, and time awake increased by about 5 minutes At 1,300 parts per million, sleep efficiency dropped even more. Time awake increased by about 7.8 minutes. Deep sleep became 6 to 7 minutes shorter. Cortisol after waking was higher, suggesting the body was under more stress. That is not the kind of thing you feel as one obvious event. You do not wake up and say, I lost 6 minutes of deep sleep because my room ventilation was poor. You just feel dull. You feel unrested. You feel like the night did not quite work, and this is why bedroom air is so easy to ignore. Bad air does not always wake you with a dramatic signal. It does not always smell terrible. It does not always make you cough. Sometimes it just makes sleep lighter, more broken, and less useful. A closed bedroom can still feel calm. That is the trick. It can feel quiet, it can feel private, it can feel safe. But biologically, it may be becoming a bag of recycled breath. And this brings us to a second misconception. People think cool air means good air. It does not. Not automatically. An air conditioner can make a room comfortable without bringing in much fresh outdoor air. A split air conditioner, the kind many bedrooms use, often recirculates the air already inside the room. It cools the air. It dries it somewhat. It moves it around, but it does not necessarily replace it. So the room can feel cold while the air is still old. That is an important difference. Temperature is only one part of comfort. Ventilation is another, and the body can tell the difference even when you cannot. This is also why opening a bedroom door is not the same thing as opening a window. Opening the door can let the bedroom mix with the rest of the home. That may lower CO2 if the rest of the home has better air. But opening a window can change more than CO2. In a study of 40 bedrooms in Denmark, opening windows reduced CO2, volatile organic compounds, and PM10 particles, while sleep quality improved. Opening the internal door mainly reduced CO2. That matters because CO2 is only the first clue. It is the number everyone can measure. It is not the whole room. The whole room is a mixture. And every night, that mixture is being written by the person sleeping in it. Your breath adds CO2. Your breath and skin also add volatile organic compounds, often called VOCs. These are small airborne chemicals that can come from people, cleaning products, cosmetics, furniture, paint, fabrics, candles, air fresheners, and hundreds of ordinary things inside a home. The strange part is that you are one of the sources. A recent bedroom study measured VOCs in real time during sleep and found that sleeping occupants themselves can increase VOC concentrations in bedroom air. That does not mean your body is toxic. It means the bedroom is not an empty container. It is a chemical space. And when the door and window are closed, that space has less chance to reset. Now add humidity. Every breath carries moisture over hours. That moisture can raise the humidity of the room, especially in small bedrooms with poor air exchange. Too much humidity makes a room feel heavy. It can also help mold grow if moisture problems persist. The Environmental Protection Agency recommends keeping indoor humidity below 60% and ideally between 30 and 50%. That number is not about comfort only. It is about what the room allows to live on its surfaces. A bedroom can become too dry, and that can irritate your nose and throat. But a bedroom can also become too damp, and that creates a different set of problems. Dust, mold, musty, smells, irritated airways. A room can be dark, soft, and quiet, but still be a bad place to breathe for 8 hours. And then there are particles. These are the tiny things you cannot see. PM2.5 is one of the most important kinds. The name means particles with a diameter of 2,5 micrometers or smaller. They are small enough to move deep into the lungs, and some can even enter the bloodstream. Outdoor pollution can bring them in. Cooking can create them. Smoke can create them. Candles and incense can create them. Dust can carry them. A bedroom is not sealed away from the rest of life. It collects what happens in the home, and then you sleep inside that collection. This is the deeper answer. Your bedroom may make you wake up tired, because sleep is not just something your brain does in the dark. Sleep is a whole body repair process happening inside an air system. If the system is well ventilated, the waste from your breath gets diluted, heat moves away, moisture moves away. Chemicals and particles have less chance to build up. If the system is closed, everything depends on the size of the room, the number of people sleeping in it, the door gap, the window, the ventilation, the outdoor air, the temperature, the humidity, and whatever is already in the space. That is why 2 people can sleep the same number of hours and wake up completely differently. One person slept in a room that kept exchanging air. The other slept in a room that kept reusing it. And here is the part that should genuinely change how you see your bedroom. CO2 is not the monster, it is the smoke alarm. When CO2 climbs overnight, it is telling you something. Simple. The room is not being refreshed fast enough. And if CO2 is not leaving, other things may not be leaving either. Moisture, VOCs, particles, odors, heat, the quiet byproducts of having a living body in a closed space for 1/3 of the day. People spend a huge amount of life indoors. In the United States, the average person spends about 90% of their time inside, and some indoor pollutant levels are often 2 to 5 times higher than typical outdoor levels. That is the scale most people miss. Bedroom air is not a small issue, because bedrooms are where you spend one of the longest uninterrupted blocks of indoor time. You may be in a kitchen for 20 minutes. You may be in a car for 30, but in a bedroom, you can lie still in the same air for 8 straight hours. And while you're asleep, you cannot notice the room changing. You cannot say, this air is getting stale. You cannot say, the humidity is rising. You cannot say, the CO2 is crossing a line. You just wake up and feel the aftermath. So when someone says they slept enough, but still feel tired, there are many possible reasons. Stress can do it. Sleep apnea can do it. Alcohol can do it. Light can do it. Noise can do it. An irregular sleep schedule can do it. But bedroom air belongs on that list. Not as a magic answer, as a missing one. Because the room is not passive. It is not just where sleep happens. It is part of the machine. And the machine can be tuned badly. A tightly closed room with poor ventilation can be like a fish tank with no filter. At first, nothing looks wrong. The water is clear enough, the fish is still moving, the system seems fine, but the problem is not one dramatic poison. The problem is an accumulation. Small things stay. Freshness does not return. The same environment gets used again and again until the body has to work inside it. That is what the bedroom can do. Quietly, slowly, all night. And this is why the solution is not as simple as saying everyone should open a window. Sometimes outdoor air is polluted. Sometimes it is too cold. Sometimes it is too hot. Sometimes there is noise, pollen, smoke, traffic, or safety concerns. Opening a window can help in one bedroom and hurt sleep in another. The real point is not the window. The real point is exchange. Some way for stale indoor air to leave and cleaner air to enter. That could mean opening a window before bed for a short time. It could mean keeping the bedroom door open when safe. It could mean using mechanical ventilation. It could mean checking humidity with a small meter. It could mean avoiding candles, strong fragrances, or heavy cleaning products right before sleep. It could mean using a good air purifier for particles, while remembering that most ordinary purifiers do not remove CO2. That last part matters. A purifier can clean some particles from the air. It does not automatically give the room new air. Filtering is not the same thing as ventilation. Cooling is not the same thing as ventilation. Moving air is the same thing as ventilation. A fan can make the room feel alive while the same air keeps going in circles. That is the hidden mistake. We judge air by how it feels on our skin. Cool, moving, quiet, comfortable. But the sleeping brain is dealing with something else. It is dealing with chemistry. It is dealing with humidity. It is dealing with particles. It is dealing with how much of the air has already been used. So tomorrow morning, if you wake up tired after a full night, do not only ask how long you slept, ask where the air went. Was the door closed all night? Was the window closed? Was the air conditioner only cooling the same air? Did the room feel stuffy when you opened the door? Was there condensation on the window? Did the room smell stale? Did your head feel heavy before you even got out of bed? Those are clues, not proof, clues. Because the room may have been telling you something your eyes could not see. Now go back to the beginning. The bedroom is dark, the door is closed, the window is shut, the fan is moving, the air conditioner is humming. Everything looks like sleep. But for 8 hours, your body is breathing into that space. The room is taking in what you give it. CO2 rises, moisture rises, chemicals linger, particles remain. The air becomes less like the air you entered and more like a record of the night your body just spent inside it. And when the alarm rings, you do not wake up in the same room you fell asleep in. You wake up in the room your breathing created. That is why bedroom air can make you wake up tired. Not because it attacks you all at once, because it surrounds the entire repair process quietly, hour after hour. And once you understand that, a tired morning starts to look different. It is not only a question of whether you slept enough, it is also a question of what you were breathing while sleep tried to fix you.